basement breakdown here. I haven't spoken to you guys in a little bit of time. Yeah, let's get into it. So, we had UFC Kansas City, obviously. We went 12-2 in our picks, which is pretty good. I think soon I'm going to tally up what picks we have made so far for all the cards that we've done, which has been every card since I've started my account. I think that was starting with the Imavov versus Adesanya card. So, yeah. Also, guys, I'm going to try and build my set a lot more, get some more stuff, make it look more appealing, because I want to make good content for you. I obviously made that episode with my friend Harry last week. Kind of messed up the filming a little bit. He tried to save it in editing by putting a bunch of animations over the fighters, but, you know, my head was cut off half the time. So, yeah, we really got to work on the overall quality of the set appearance and just some other little things so that it makes it more enjoyable to watch. Because, yeah, guys, ultimately I want to draw a lot of attention to my picks. I seem to be doing very well with them, which is great. So, yeah, UFC Kansas City, guys. We went 12-2. We went, 12-2, man. Super awesome. We got the main event right. I always like it when we're able to get the main event. I'm not going to spend too much time going over the card. I know that a lot of people, they do those cards where they do the videos where they break down the, the actual card right after it happens, what they got right, what they didn't get right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that for every card, but for now, I'll do what I can. But yeah, this is my rundown. Ian Machado Gary beat Carlos Praches, won the first 3 rounds, 4-5. 4 was close. Ian Gary was very active, but Carlos Praches started to land some shots, busted up Ian Gary's nose. Kind of crazy, how long it took Carlos to kind of get anything done in there. He just really wasn't throwing. Like, he was landing like in the single digits with strikes the first 3 rounds. Really getting kind of worked by Ian Gary. But yeah, he had moments of greatness. Could have finished Ian Gary in the 5th round. Ian kept shooting failed takedowns. And Carlos Praches, if he did a little bit more at the ground and pound, he probably could have won that fight, but he didn't. We got our pick right. Ian Gary won via decision, surgical. It was very technical on his part. He did what I thought he would. He'd move out of the way. He wasn't there for a lot of those powerful shots that Carlos Praches, we've seen him land on the other guys who he's fought. None of them have been this high level. So yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. I don't think you give Ian Gary a title shot right now. I think the best thing you can do for Ian Gary is probably give him that Joaquin Buckley fight. I'm sure you guys know because, you keep up with MMA. But if you don't, I'm here to tell you. Joaquin Buckley, on the media day for UFC Kansas City, when they were doing like the weigh-ins and stuff, him and Ian got into it, and then Ian's wife was with the baby, kind of down where the spectators were sitting, and I think she like touched Joaquin Buckley's arm or something, or I don't know, whatever. They some stuff happened, and Joaquin Buckley in an interview basically after the event had some things to say about Ian Gary, to say the least. So I think that could be a really fun fight to make. Ian Gary, he's number 7th, and he just beat a guy ranked number 13th. So Joaquin Buckley's coming off of a win against Colby Covington. He's fighting Kamaru Usman, who's ranked number 4. I think this is a good next step for Ian Gary to fight Joaquin Buckley. I think everyone would be really excited to see that, because I don't know if you can really give him a title shot yet. I'm not sure what you really do. But yeah, Ian Gary, Anthony Smith, we said he would get KO'd in the first round. We tried to predict the exact time. That didn't work. I also revised a couple picks, made a little short at the beginning. Before UFC Kansas took place, I made a thing with all the fights, and I checked off the ones that were my picks. I revised a couple of them. Me and my friend Harrison did a picks video last time, and Yeah, like I looked over some of the matchups and just some stuff, and I wanted to make some changes and stuff, so I talked it over with him. And we got all of them right, the ones that we did change, so it made sense ultimately, which is good. Anthony Smith loses to Zhang Mingyang after Anthony Smith was kind of like, this guy would have been beatable or something like that, like earlier in my career, which is like, dude, like, you just didn't need to say that. It was just so unnecessary, but happy retirement to Anthony Smith. No hate, whatever. Giga Chikadze, that was one of the ones I got wrong, thought he would win, but David Onama, won with the wrestling, very boring. Michelle Pereira, that's when I switched. I said Abus would win. Michelle looked really bad. Abus won. Randy Brown, crazy knockout versus Nicholas Dalby. I'm not sure who you give Randy Brown now. I think that JDM loss that he has is aged super well for JDM. Randy Brown's super fun. He's super awesome to watch. I picked him. Ikram won. Kind of seemed like I didn't know what Andre Muniz was doing. I just looked like I don't even know. No, I'm not saying he threw the fight or anything. It's just like, I don't know. Weird. Anyways, match now. I was worried about that pick, but we picked him. That was a good fight. Won a close decision. I said Evan Elder. Well, we didn't say Evan Elder in the video. Me and Harry went Gage Young. But looking back, I think it's just Evan Elder was so prepared for the fight. Gage Young was thrown there in short notice. Evan Elder did his thing, so we were right. I picked Chris Gutierrez. John Castanda was my original pick in the video. I switched it to Chris. We got Damon Blackshear. I picked Malcolm Wellmaker. I picked Jacqueline Amarin. I picked Roberto Romero, who lost to Timothy Kiamba. Crazy TKO. But Roberto, I thought he won the first round. And Jocelyn Edwards, KO'd Chelsea Chandler. So we did very well, guys. Very, very well. But now we move on. Hold up 1 second. We're back, guys. Sorry about that. All right. We have the Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo fight night coming up. May 3rd, 10 p.m. main card. This is exciting. I'm excited for this. There's some decent fights on the card. We're going to break it down from the prelims up. And we'll see, guys. We'll see. When Cory and Deiveson Figueiredo was made, I was a little surprised that the actual matchup itself was made. I don't know what I actually thought, but I thought it was a little weird. Not needless to say, it's a good fight, and I'm excited for it. But I, at the time, remember being a little astonished that they made it. But let's get into it, guys. We start off with a women's fight: Juliana Miller versus Ivana Petrovic. Ivana Petrovic is 7-2. Juliana Miller is 4-3. Ivana's 30. Juliana's 28. Ivana's slightly taller, she's got more reach, and she's got a better record. This is very enticing. She lost her last fight via decision, close decision. I didn't watch the fight, obviously, but maybe she could have won, so that's at least reassuring. And she won her last fight before that via submission, and those are her only fights in the UFC. Meanwhile, we have the girl who she's fighting. Juliana Miller, 28 years of age, 4-3. So she's lost 2 fights in the UFC via decision and TKO. I mean, I feel like I really don't need to spend much time on this, and I say that a lot with a lot of these fights. But I think that the safe way to go would be Ivana. So we'll go with Ivana, guys. We'll go with Ivana. Hold up for a second. All right, we're back in business, guys. Let's go. All right. So, guys, we're going with Ivana Petrovic for our first pick of the night. I'm going to go with Ivana Petrovic submission in the second round. If it's not a submission, it's going to be a decision, but we'll go with the second round submission. We go to the heavyweight division for our second fight. Thomas Peterson versus Dante Mays. I like Dante Mays. He's Lord Kong. He's been fighting for a while. In 2025, he lost to Walter Walker, who is Johnny Walker's brother, via submission in round number 1. When was that? Yeah, Walter Walker kind of reinvented himself. I'm not saying he juiced or anything, but he used to look way different up until he started winning his fights. So I don't know, but whatever. Yeah, lost to Walter Walker in 2025. Lost to Shamil Gaziev, who's out of his next fight, unfortunately. In 2024 via decision. Then he beat Caio Machado back in April of 2024. And before that, it was basically back and forth. He beat Andrei Arlovsky, Rodrigo Nascimento, beat him. Like, he's, win one, lose two, kind of like that. They're both, Thomas Peterson's 30, he's 33. Don'Tale Mayes has got the crazy reach on him, 205 centimeters to 188, and he's got a big height advantage. Thomas Peterson lost to Shamil Gaziev, so they both have similar losses. And then Muhammad Usman lost to him, to Thomas Peterson, and Jamal Poos. I feel like Thomas Peterson's going to be favorited in this fight, and I'm not so sure he's going to win it. I think Don'Tale Mayes, who's not great either, I think his experience and his reach and his size, and like from what I've seen from Thomas Peterson taking Muhammad Usman to a decision, like I really haven't seen that like knockout power. I think Don'Tale Mayes will get it done, and I think he'll get it done via second round TKO, guys. So that'll be our second pick of the night, Don'Tale Mayes. Third fight, we have Le Quang versus Gaston Bolanos. Okay, these guys are 1 year apart in age. Gaston's 32, Le is 33. Very close in height, and their reach is 2 centimeters difference. Quang has a slightly bigger reach. Le Quang is 8-2 in the UFC. His nickname is Bang. He lost his last 2 fights in the UFC, so I mean, I guess, when he got to the UFC, there's a bit of up in competition from what he was used to, and he's not been, welcomed the way that he's wanted to, I'm sure. Marcus McGee took out Gaston Bolanos in his first fight in the UFC, and then he beat Cortavius Ramius. Okay. Decent win. This is a bit of a pick'em, I feel like. I feel like Le Quang, I don't know, man. Like, his 2 losses in the UFC aren't good. That doesn't look good. I'm going to go with Gaston Bolanos to beat Le Quang via decision. I think that's what's going to happen. Next, we have Marina Rodriguez versus Jillian Robertson. I think I picked Jillian Robertson to win in her last fight. How exciting. She's fighting Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez is 38. Jillian Robertson's 29. I didn't know she was that young. Marina has a slight height advantage with a slight reach advantage. Marina's coming off of a loss to Lasmin Lucindo, and before that, a decision loss to Jessica Andrade. Not bad losses to, good people in her division to an extent. Jillian Robertson's coming off of 3 wins against Michelle Waterson-Gomez, Luana Pinheiro most recently, and Polania Viana. I mean, I'm just going to go with Jillian Robertson. Just, she's on a bit of a streak. Marina's a lot older. Like, this is kind of what I'm basing it off of. I think Jillian Robertson's probably going to win a decision against Marina Rodriguez, like a 29-28. We'll say she Twins unanimous decision. Let's move up. Ryan Loder and Asmat Bekoyev. Okay, Asmat's 29, Ryan's 33. Height advantage goes to Ryan Loder. The reach advantage also goes to Ryan Loder. He's got quite the reach advantage. There's a bit of a discrepancy in records. Asmat looks like he's had a more fights. He's 19-3. His most recent win coming against Zachary Reese via TKO in the first round. Good win. Ryan Loder, who's 8-1, beat Robert Valentin, who fought very recently against Torres Finney, and that was boring as fuck. Not because of Robert, but in fact because of Torres. One judge gave that to Robert. We're not talking about that though. Yeah. I feel like Asmat's a good fighter. Kind of a pick'em to some extent. The height and the reach scares me. Let's go with a Ryan Loder. Let's go with I'm gonna go with Ryan Loder. I'm gonna go with a Ryan Loder second round TKO, guys, against Asmat. We move up. Another girl fight. Another chick fight. We're not complaining though. Misha Tate. Yana Santos versus Misha Tate. These girls are both old. They're the exact same height, and Yana Santos has a bit of a reach advantage. Off the bat, I know that Yana beat Chelsea Chandler in her last fight, which is not a great win. That was her only fight in 2024. And before that, lost to Kale Rosa. You know, she fought Holly Holm in 2023. She hasn't been too active. Misha Tate, however, Misha Cupcake Tate is coming off a submission win versus Julia Avila back in 2023, and she hasn't really fought since then. So, I don't know. I think Misha Tate's done. I think that this will probably be her last fight in the UFC. Just because of the layoff. She is, in fact, 38 years old, so if she loses this, I don't really see a point to continue. So we'll go by Yana Santos via decision. Yeah, I'm not sure how confident I am in that, but that's what we're going to go with. Moving on to the main card. Not a bad card for a fight night. Okay, so Jeremy Stephens makes his return to the UFC. That got announced not long ago against Mason Jones. Jeremy Stephens is a former 145-pound fighter in the UFC. He's got a lot of fights against legends in the UFC. He fought at featherweight. Yeah, he fought at lightweight too. He's fought a lot of guys throughout the years. He's got that famous moment with Conor McGregor. Who the fuck is that guy? He's that dude. He fought in bare knuckle against I believe it was Eddie Alvarez, and a lot of people were kind of counting him out. He won that fight and then kind of came back to the UFC, kind of maybe ricocheted off of the traction that he got after that win. But yeah, guys, he's going up against Mason Jones. Jeremy hasn't fought in the UFC since 2021. Mason Jones is 30 years old, so he's a lot younger. He's coming off of a loss to Ludovic Klein, and that's his only fight in the UFC. I really like Jeremy Stephens, but there's no reason for me to pick him in this fight, unfortunately. He has been out for so long, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. I really like him, but I don't think he's going to win this fight. Dimensions are very similar. Reach and height are slightly on Mason Jones' side. Reach is a little bit more so. But I don't think Jeremy's going to get knocked out, but I think he's going to lose a decision to Mason Jones. I just think he's too old. He's been out of there for too long, and I think those are going to be the main problems. I don't really feel like I need to break down what's going to actually happen in the fight because we haven't seen Jeremy in so long, and I don't really know how much MMA he's been training up until his, come back to the UFC. So we'll see, guys. I think Mason Jones is going to win. I'm going with a Mason Jones decision, though. I don't think any knockouts will come in that fight. Could be wrong, but that's what we're going with. I like this guy's name. Cameron Smotherman versus Serhiy Saidi. I hope I didn't butcher that. But these guys are good up-and-comers. Cameron Smotherman, 27 years of age. He won his last fight versus Jake Hadley via decision. It was a good fight. These guys are a year apart in age. Serhiy has the height advantage as well as the reach advantage. And he's coming off of a win as well against Garrett Armfield, another decision. Both these guys coming off decisions. Before that, Serhiy lost to Ramon Tavares via decision, so there's that. Yeah, I like Cameron a lot. I like Cameron Smotherman. He's a good fighter. Serhiy Saidi. He's a decisionator. He goes for takedowns a lot too. It looks like he fails them quite a bit as well. Nah, man, I'm going Cameron Smotherman. I'm gonna go with a Cameron Smotherman. I'm gonna go with a Cameron Smotherman decision. I think it's gonna be a really close fight. I think Cameron Smotherman is gonna win a split decision. We'll just throw that out there. Yeah, we'll go 2 judges, 29-28 for Cameron Smotherman decision. Moving up, we're almost done, guys. I promise. Montel Jackson and Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos is undefeated in the UFC, 17-0. Not overall, 17-0. He has wins against Adrian Yanez, John Costanda, 1 draw against Quilang Ori, and in 2023, a bunch of canceled bouts. So yeah, he's 2-0 in the UFC. This is his first time fighting this year, and that'll be against Montel Jackson. Montel Jackson fought in 2024 against Damon Blackshear, where he won via TKO in round number 1. He also fought Randy Yaha in 2023. So he's coming off of 2 wins. They're kind of spaced apart, so he hasn't fought in a bit. They're kind of similar ages, and fuck me, man. Montel Jackson has a crazy reach advantage on Daniel Marcos. Now, that worries me a lot. That worries me a lot. Guy's a bit of a decisionator. Daniel Marcos. 17-0. It's always the undefeated guys. It's like, is this going to be the guy to defeat him? And you always got to look at that carefully. I mean, it's hard. It's hard, guys. Bear with me. With Montel Jackson for an upset. I don't know if he's going to be favored in the fight. I'm going to look at the lines. If I have any changes to the card, you guys will know about it. But I think we're going to go with a Montel Jackson KO. He hasn't fought too much, though, but it's like, he's got such a big reach advantage. I'm just worried. Yeah, we're going to go with Montel Jackson, guys. 2nd round TKO. Moving up the card, we got, I don't know if it's a fan favorite, but he's one of my personal favorites, I guess. Yeah, he's going up against, Santiago Ponzinibbio, guys. He's going up against Daniel Rodriguez. Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think he was in a very close fight with Muslim Sahilikov that I thought arguably could have gone to Santiago when I was watching it. But that's not what happened. Santiago is also coming off of a loss. Who was it to? Kevin Holland back in 2023. Before that, he took a while off because he was injured, and now he's back against Daniel Rodriguez. I like Daniel Rodriguez. He is coming off a win versus Alex Morono, a decision, and then he lost to Kelvin Gastelum before, which was a very close fight. A lot of people could argue that Daniel won that fight. But yeah, we like D-Rod. He's super fun to watch. They're both the same age. They're both virtually very similar dimensions. Daniel Rodriguez slightly taller with a slightly bigger reach. I feel like I'm going to have to go with Daniel Rodriguez to put an end to Santiago Ponzinibbio's career. I feel like Daniel Rodriguez hasn't knocked anyone out in a bit. I don't know if he's going to be able to knock out Santiago, but I do definitely see him winning a decision. Yeah, I think he's going to win a unanimous decision against Santiago, and that'll probably be Santiago's last fight in the UFC. Yeah, D-Rod's career is coming to a close, but I think he'll put together probably another win or two before that's said and done. This will one of those wins will be against Santiago Ponzinibbio this weekend, guys. We move on to the co-main event. Renaer de Ridder versus Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal, Penn State wrestler phenom, Dana White's Contender Series. We all know the story, guys. Wrestler turned MMA fighter. A story old as time itself. But yeah, Bo Nickal's undefeated in the UFC, guys. He's 4-0. His most recent win came against Paul Craig. A lot of people booed while that fight was taking place. I thought it was a good fight. No, I didn't. But, I mean, Bo Nickal, he showed some of his striking. He played it smart. Didn't really, try to grapple too much with Paul Craig, a guy who's submitted dudes who you wouldn't think he would have a win against, such as Magomed Ankalaev and Jamal Hill. But, yeah, Bo Nickal, man. And then Renaer de Ridder, former champion from Championship 1. The UFC got him, probably because he ran out of guys to fight in Championship 1. I don't know how many middleweights and light heavyweights they can throw at this guy, but he held 2 belts at one time, I believe, when he was in Championship 1. UFC gets him. He fought Gerard Michart. That was a good fight. Renaer de Ridder looked not so good at certain points, but in the 3rd round, he submitted Gerard. And yeah, he also most recently submitted Kevin Holland, a fight that I predicted would go that way. So there's that, and now you match him up against Bo Nickal. Fuck me. This is a good fight. It's a smart fight to make because, Renaer de Ridder, if he gets through Bo Nickal, then he's gonna pick up some serious steam. He'll derail a freaking hype train like Bo Nickal, who we kind of saw lose a bit of that steam after that Paul Craig decision. But Bo's 29, Renaer's 34. Renaer's got a significant height advantage as well as a little bit of reach advantage. Renaer's very good on the ground. His striking is a little lackluster. He's kind of slow. I feel like my heart tells me Bo Nickal just because he's just undefeated. But it's like, this is a big step up in opponent, I think. I think Renaer de Ridder is very good. I think he's very good on the ground. But I think Bo Nickal's going to win. I think there's going to be some good scrambles. I think Bo Nickal will be faster in the striking. I think that he's just, from what I've seen from Renaer, I think he's just going to get to Renaer faster than Renaer will be able to get to Bo Nickal. I think a lot of Renaer's offense will just be trying to get the takedowns, clinch at the fence. I think Bo Nickal will move around, and I think he'll win a decision. I think some people will probably not be very happy about it. Yeah, I don't know if I see a TKO or anything like that coming this fight, but we'll go with a Bo Nickal decision, guys. And then we move to the main event of the evening. Yes, guys, we have Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Yes, guys, let's go. The Sandman versus Figgy. Dois de Guerra. Is that his nickname? Yeah. Well, guys, Cory Sandhagen's 33 years old. He's got a pretty significant height advantage over Deiveson Figueiredo, as well as a bit of a reach advantage. We love Cory Sandhagen. He's taken a little bit of time off after his last loss, which was to Umar Nurmagomedov. That was a good fight. To be fair, he displayed a lot of his takedown defense. He did very well on the ground against a guy who is very good on the ground, so there's that. Nothing to be ashamed of. Before that, he was on a 2-fight win streak against Marlon Vera and Rob Font. before that. Oh yeah, and Song Yadong. So, you know, there was that before Umar Nurmagomedov. And yeah, now he's fighting Deiveson Figueiredo, guys. I really like Cory. He's got great fights. I remember that TJ Dillashaw fight, that Peter Yan fight. Cory Sandhagen's a very talented fighter, and I love watching him fight. Figgy fought a division lower, former champion, moved up, got some good wins against Marlon Vera, Cody Garbrandt, and I think Rob Font. And yeah, now he goes up against Cory Sandhagen. This is a great fight, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm leaning more towards Cory. I think that this fight is going to favor Cory over 5 rounds. I don't think Deiveson Figueiredo is going to be able to take Cory down. And if he is able to take him down, Cory's going to be able to get back up. And I think he's going to be able to pick him apart from the outside. And I think it's going to be a technical fight, but I think Cory Sandhagen's probably going to win a decision. I think it's going to be kind of a one-sided decision against Deiveson Figueiredo too. And this will put him back in the conversation in the division and line up some other fights for him. But yeah, I think Cory Sandhagen's going to win the decision. I think over 5 rounds, he's probably going to he's gonna outpoint Deiveson Figueiredo, and he's gonna win 3 rounds to 2, guys. So those are my official predictions for the UFC Fight Night Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo, guys. Always a pleasure. It's kind of late here, but it always is when I'm filming. Gonna keep doing this. Gonna keep on pushing the content. And yeah, guys, hope you guys are having a great week. Basement Breakdown now.
Brace yourself.